Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu, and I've got with us tonight Ronan Unchained, Daniel, Julie, and Emmanuel, guys, and we will have Angelo joining in a little bit later. He's running a bit behind. Guys, how's it all going? How you been?
Going
Going
good,
good,
man.
man.
Thanks
How
for
you
having
doing?
Yeah,
us.
going great.
Cool. Yeah, guys, we've got so much to get into. I mean, we missed out. We didn't get the chance to all get together last week to do episode 7, so I figured we might just do a little bit of a talk about episode 7 first and kind of, gloss over the episode and then jump into episode 8. So, yeah, episode 7, just to kind of, pull you back again, it was, uh, we had, basically, we're going back. There we go. Yeah,
John winning.
yeah, Judd winning. Yeah, we had the parent. We had the parents kind of losing at the beginning. They were on the big chase. The whole idea there with the parents and on the planet, that sort of stuff was kind of very ET-ish. I felt in its own opening set. Oh wait, hang on a second. Oh, Angela just joined. Okay, Angela, we got the whole set of 6.
Oh,
Nice. Hey, Angelo, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
Angelo.
Good. How are
Yeah.
you guys?
Yeah,
Good,
good,
brother.
good. You know what? Let's just do kind of like a quick recap. What were your thoughts of episode 7? Which, again, I was just going to say, it really was Jod winning the day. He ended up by. I had to kind of remind myself, with some of the images here, but. He kills Brutus. That's one of the big things that happened. There was a thing. He sliced and diced
SM33.
SM33, which is a big one.
beheaded.
Beheaded. There was a lot of death and mayhem, and of course, at the end of that episode, he found his gold. Guys, just as a quick recap, what are your thoughts? Ronan, yep, sorry, yep.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry, go for it.
So yeah, I think
Yeah,
I dug episode 7. I think that was the one up to the point I'm like, oh snap, all right. I haven't seen John like this
yeah,
at all, and it might have had still. Well, we'll talk about the finale later on, but
yeah,
that episode had my biggest cheer moment, which I remember. I
yeah.
remember hearing from you, from Kyle, being like, "Yo, wait till you watch the episode." I'm like, "Okay,"
Uh-huh.
and then you see what SM does, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Oh, when he punches him out.
MVP."
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
yeah,
like good enough. And
yeah.
I'm like, God bless Nick Frost.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was fun because this latter half of the season,
yeah,
you start seeing how much the egos, if these kids have any, are suddenly being checked within themselves, and then are more about like, no, us. It's not just what each of us
right.
want, but us as a group. We're in this together, and like,
Yeah.
I just love how their bond has just been growing and growing and growing, and I love that style is in Star Wars in this
Yeah.
type of format, if you will,
Yeah,
in comparison to what other stories have been told in this format for Star Wars.
yeah.
And yeah, man, they killed the space werewolf, man, and I was sad a little bit about that. I'm like, no,
Uh-huh.
we finally have a werewolf in space.
That
and
boy
killing it.
executed him.
Yeah.
Executed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm like, okay, but that's a big swing for Jada because he's
Yeah.
willing to take out anybody and almost in a way tricking everybody to think, oh, he's helpless because, at a point he took off his chuckles by himself and was just waiting
Yeah.
for the right move to
Oh,
make
yeah.
the
Yeah.
switch to be the captain again. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a rough way to see the kids be in captivity, and then now seeing how Jod has found the vault and seeing all those coins, that was very reminiscent of Andor. So, but I dug episode
Yeah.
7.
Daniel.
Yeah, I thought episode 7 was great. I feel like up until episode 7, you have this plausible deniability where, like, oh, Jod could still, like, maybe this is, like, for the better good. Like, maybe he's
Yeah.
going to come around. Like, maybe this is all part of his plan to help out the kids.
Mhm.
And I like how episode 7 was like, this is not
Nope.
that story. This is a different story. This is a
Oh,
story.
yeah.
He's not a good person. He's
Yeah.
he wants the money. I thought Jude Law did a great job acting.
Oh yeah,
The,
I mean,
the scene
like
was my
you
favorite.
could see he was about to like tear up. Like he
Yeah.
literally was tearing up in the moment of. It was great.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting direction for the story to go. I think
Yeah.
it caught a lot of people off guard.
Mm-hmm. Angelo.
Yeah, I was going to say like the same thing. Yeah, it was very like
subvert expectations because it kind of like shows like especially more geared towards the younger audiences like, oh yeah, you didn't expect him. He's like he's gonna have a change of heart and save the kids from the pirates, but no, he's like he took over the pirates and
Yeah.
then he went after the kids even
Oh
like
yeah.
I guess more in episode 8, but like
Yeah.
lightsabers to the face and everything.
Oh yeah. No, it was great. Julie, what were your thoughts on episode 7?
Yeah, I have to agree with what Daniel said. Like this
Yeah.
episode is one where you definitely feel that tone shift
Yeah.
and like the stakes become pretty much real. I mean, up until
Yeah.
this point we're in denial, like there's a chance that Jod will come through,
Hmm.
but now it's like, oh shoot, some people might not
Yeah.
survive.
Have redemption. Yeah.
Mhm.
Totally. Other thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I know for
Yeah.
sure. I had
Yeah.
hopes on you know me. In the beginning, I was like, Jaw's gonna be a good guy. Jaw's gonna be a good guy, and that episode 7 for sure cleared it.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a wrap. He's no turning back from here.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like I mean that episode 7 was ruthless. He was over there murdering people.
Oh,
Like I feel like Jawd is so strong, but he's not like because man, he's better than me. Because if I had the Force, I'll be. It'd be a wrap. But
Yeah.
but no, he was that episode was good, and that episode was great actually, and leading up to episode 8, I
Yeah.
still feel like because with him massacring Brutus, and when we talk about episode 8,
Yeah.
I feel like there could have been a lot of times where he could have just like, he could have ended the kids and the family, but he
Oh, yeah.
didn't. I still feel like he has some type of redemption, but
Right.
that's just me personally.
Yeah.
I love Jude Law, so
I'm going to say from the beginning, I was like, you know what? I kind of hope we don't see this guy become a good guy by episode 6 or 7 and help the kids. I didn't want to see that because I didn't I wanted something different, and we got something very different from this show. But, leading up into these episodes, these final 2 episodes, I very much, I got what I was looking for, which was not a redemption arc, but darker into the, deeper into the darkness, I guess, of the character. But at the same time, you saw the kids come together. Sorry, Julie. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree with
Yeah.
what you're saying, and it's good to see like characters pick a side and stay with it. We see too often, I think, in Star Wars,
Yeah.
characters switching sides and then going back to the side they're originally on. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very easily too, without real explanation or depth. These characters had depth, and I think that's one of the things that we see it in Andor. We see characters with a lot of depth in Andor, but a lot of the other lighter stories, it's a very loose depth, and that's fine too. But there's these elements of this that what we got from this show that are what a lot of people have been searching for, I feel, in Star Wars. And that's one of the other thing that is kind of sad, that there has not been as many views, at least on the earlier on when the show started. And I feel like that I'm hoping this is like one of those sleeper hits, that word of mouth will kick this around to the Star Wars community that might have just said, you know what, I'm done. The shows are not what I want to go for, kind of thing. And it's something, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I think technically, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Brett. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, technically, everything's gorgeous in this show too, and it doesn't feel like we're shooting on the volume anymore at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, 100%.
Can I speak to that thing of the whole viewership low? If that is the case, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
But hooray for us, who dare I say have more range than most
Yes.
audiences.
Absolutely.
I can always check stuff out because I remember hearing the same thing for Andor,
Yeah.
and that show got a season 2, which was already planned ahead. And
Oh yeah.
I would
Anchorman.
say that Andor, hi Anchorman,
What's up, Anchorman?
is probably one of the top 3 things ever created in Star Wars, in my opinion. For me,
Sure. Yeah.
But what I tell people who like are worried or who use that of low viewership angle as a negative, being like, oh, this is why Star Wars is dead.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to call people out specifically that I've been noticing that, but I'm just saying this.
Yeah.
Some of the best stuff in art, specifically in TV and movies, that started off with low viewerships,
Yeah.
have gone on to become cult classic and almost defining genre projects. I
Yeah.
mean, the first few things that come to mind are it's ironic they're both sci-fi stuff, but Blade Runner and Firefly. Those things, from what I heard, because I wasn't born or wasn't watching it when those things came out,
Yeah.
is that they were so panned or barely anybody was watching it. But by the time I came out or I was started watching the stuff,
Yeah.
He said I came out.
Hey,
Exactly.
the prequels got a lot of crap
Yeah.
from my generation.
Yeah.
I didn't share the same crap that people were trying to crap onto it.
Like, that's
but it was
often kind of what I think of, like
yeah
with our generation and the sequels. I'm like, what are people going to think 10 years from now?
yeah
I know.
absolutely, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know. But honestly, I feel like this show was a step towards a better direction for Star Wars.
Oh, I agree.
This show for sure wasn't as divisive as like Acolyte. Like I like the Acolyte, but it was just I mean I feel like it wasn't just show, but like the showrunner and everybody, all the stuff that was going behind the scenes and everything.
I saw the diversity, but what they were trying to do and stuff with. But I enjoyed it all. I mean, I thought
same here.
Yeah,
I feel like before the show even came out, it was already there was already controversy.
Pieces.
Yeah. So, but I feel like with Skeleton Crew, it was just pure fun and adventure, and I feel like this is what we need more in Star Wars.
But you also got your audience going, "Oh, it's a show about kids. I'm not going to see that, or I'm not going to sit and watch it. It's probably going to be about kids." And again, I'm hoping that over the course of time, word of mouth will get out. Also,
but what's always been the joke about Clone Wars? There's ain't no kids TV show on out. Look at how people still looked at an animation.
Yeah.
And I would say, I talked to Brent about this before. That I'm like, the animation in Star Wars has almost been the best, some of the best stuff in Star Wars. And it's like, if people still look down at that angle, then people just are just missing great art before their eyes and whatnot. And I'm very
really good storytelling too.
Yes, I'm very interested to see how these I call them hit pieces, but these angles of like, oh, lower viewership, what does this mean to Star Wars? Is the end? I wonder how relevant those angles of some viewers / fans will be in a few years when either this show gets a bigger fan base following, or gets another season, or dare I say, even get a Blu-ray release, which is more than I can say for a lot of shows now that like don't get that angle.
Anchorman says here, are we getting a season 2? That is yet to be questioned. I mean, again, we're kind of jumping to where I was going to go at the end of all this, but at the same time, let's kind of we're in the mix of this right now.
Dive in episode 8, man.
A, would you like to see a season 2, and B, do we need a season 2 with how they finished up this show?
I don't think so, to be honest. Like, I would love it. I think they did say that, like, beginning, like, if they're not planning to do season 2, but if they do, they're going to do, like, it's going to be a time skip. I remember something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, how it ended, I don't think there really is a need for season 2. Like, I would love it, but, like, it's not necessary. It has a good, nice bow on it.
Yeah,
because the whole idea that made the Skeleton Crew is now done. So, like, if they were to continue it, it'd just be something totally independent of what season 1 was, and it just feels different.
Yeah, and it might feel forced, is what I would.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to capture that magic again.
I agree with that.
Like, I love the kids. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. They're great.
To really see.
I think it would probably be best for them to just cameo in certain things. Honestly, I
agree.
I'm hoping because this happened at the same time as Mando, correct? I'm hoping you see
same era.
Yeah. I'm hoping we see like Jod getting arrested, but like with the fight between the New Republic and Grand Admiral Thrawn, I hope they actually need him and they get him out of prison. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. All the lightsabers you can get.
Exactly. I want to see the characters, I guess. Like
I don't think it needs a season 2. I think Jod should appear in the movie. I think that'd be really cool. Just to give the nod. But I think a season 2 could work. They said they've had ideas, so I don't think anything would be too forced. Like before they even wrapped up, they said they had ideas. And I would like to see like maybe a teenage Wim in like the
New Republic
Air Force Academy and like has to get the gang back together for whatever reason.
Yes.
I think it could be cool. I have some thoughts that like make me think, oh, that could be cool, but it doesn't need one. Absolutely, the story.
I would,
nicely, so.
I would like a season 2, but hearing y'all stuff, like I agree. Like there's some stuff that like it's cool if there's a nice bookend.
Yeah.
To the series because I mean there's some stuff that's getting season 2 that I'm like, oh boy, I wonder how that's gonna go. Like Shogun. I thought Shogun had a great beginning, middle, end.
Oh, it's getting season 2?
That's the one on street that's getting season 2, and so I'm like, oh no, what are they gonna do with that?
Yeah.
But I agree with Emmanuel that I'm like, I hope this is not the last we see of these 4 kids.
No, I agree. With any of the cast, I think all of them are worthy of exploring into the future and other stories and other arcs. Yeah.
I would not be surprised. I think it was Daniel or somebody saying that like, if we see a young Wim in an X-wing, jumpsuit running around, it's like, oh, look at him. He wanted to go full Top Gun Maverick on there, right there. It's like,
he and Rey could be friends. I mean, you don't know in the future kind of thing. You could pick him up at the age of like late 30s when that would be about the same time period of Rey and this Skywalker. It actually be a little older by the time they jump her story, but to have Wim at the age of 50 be a pilot that's crosses paths with Rey Skywalker or Poe Dameron or any of those characters would be really fun.
That'd be cool.
And they leave it open. Let's just jump into like episode 7 and 8 as well. We'll just talk back and forth, guys. Expectations of the season of the 8th episode and what we got. For me, were just way up there. I did not expect it to be as good as we got, but it delivered. It came through. It tied it off, as we said, in a nice bow. And they gave us still fun, stuff to explore in the Star Wars universe. What were your thoughts on episode 8?
I think it was.
Go ahead, Dan. I'll go last.
I should just point towards somebody. We're all gonna jump in. Yeah. Anybody? Go for it.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I think it was really fulfilling. I think is the word I'd use to describe it. Like it capped everything in a nice little bow. I think all the plot threads that we really needed to see, we saw how they came to fruition. I like seeing the giant gun that we saw on Ed Akron. I liked seeing that. I liked seeing all the callbacks. I know there's still some questions, and I'm sure some fans are going to be mad, like, oh, they didn't answer this specific question, like about this.
There was very little though that they didn't really answer.
Just more about Ad-Adam's past and stuff. Like I feel like be curious about that. Sure. But I think that overall for like the story arcs, it wrapped them all up nicely, and I think it ended really well. It was really fulfilling. So
Yeah, I think each of the kids had their own moments kind of shine that really brought their story arcs individually. In the spotlight, but also all of them like kind of standing up for each other at the end when we see how they're always quarreling in episode 1. Yeah. And then now we have like Wim literally trying to take a bullet for Fern. So it was cute. I think I'm just traumatized from other Star Wars, especially after the Acolyte. I really was expecting one of the parents to die. My money was on the mom dying. Yeah, I really did think that would happen. But when no one died, I was like, you know what? This is cute. Like, I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, that could have been a bit too dark, having a kid's parent killed right in front of them. It would have been,
Imagine.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Yeah. I know, right? But still.
Am I the only one that thought when Wim's dad was on the floor and like things were looking grim and he was clutching his hand?
I was cold. I felt they could have been.
I thought he was gonna use the force or something to pull the lever. I don't know. I was like, what the heck? If he would have did that, that would have been crazy. But
you meant Wim or
Wim's dad?
Wim's dad.
Wendell, I think.
Okay. All right, Wendell.
He had his hand clenched and things were looking, but he ended up socking him. But I thought he was. Imagine if he would have used the force. I don't know. I thought he was gonna do that, but.
That didn't cross my mind. I was almost half expecting Wim to possibly, but I thought that might be going too far as well. But
I thought it would have been cool to see his like, not cowardly dad, but his dad that was been sheltered that used that. That would have been cool. I think so.
Yeah.
But
if there's one thing I don't like in Star Wars is making characters spontaneously force sensitive. So I'm glad.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm glad there wasn't really that much of that. Like there wasn't anything like that in the show, which was good.
But Wim's dad did get one of the funniest lines in the episode when he kind of is going on, "Hey son, I'm a 7th level, programmer." And I just was like, yes, like the parents had also as much of an arc by the end of the show as the kids did. And although it took them time to get there, they were the late bloomers of their arc.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see the parents, finally get to that point. I mean, I guess KB's mothers were kind of the only two that were like, oh, she'll be fine kind of thing. Actually, I guess Neil's parents too, because Neil's parents were like, yeah. But in the sense of KB and Fern, Fern and Wendell, their parents had a really good kind of outcome from where they were at the beginning of the episode.
The show itself, very well. Like, Fern and her mother looked like almost identical.
They do look alike. They do look alike.
Yeah,
and what a beautiful way to see that it took each family had a moment between child and adult, and how even the adult had to see what the child was willing to do to step up to the plate. Like, I don't think if Fern had stood up to John that many times, that her mom would pull the lever, or seeing Wim stand up to John, telling him no, you're no Jedi, and then seeing how Wendell would throw fists down. I was like, oof. That is poetry right there.
Yeah. There's so many shows that kind of have like little kids and their parents just kind of shush them up or don't listen to them. But I really like that here. Like, they wholeheartedly believe
in their kids
are for the right reasons, and that it's valid.
It felt earned.
It was definitely earned, there was a couple of little unanswered things, but not a lot. I mean, everything that I feel was important that had to be answered within the moment of the story was answered. The bigger questions, which is, why was that at Atten, closed off, centuries ago or however long ago it was. We still don't even know. It obviously felt like a couple of 100 years.
And I think it kind of did give like that's, at least like when they stopped getting like the thing. They said like the last message was like
Order 66.
Order 66.
But
it also
did
up until like Republic, the end of the Republic. That's they were
I mean, little things. Even why was the ship crashed upside down? Left in the dirt, and was it because it really did crash and the captain obviously did die there? But those little things are other stories. They're books. They're comics. They're side comments from another era of storytelling, which I'm also excited that it's there to explore if people decide to expand on some of those moments. But they didn't have to. Go through everything there, but
or leave it to the imagination, which is how I think. I grew up at times. I was like, before books and comics, like canonized it, I wondered what was the wedding like between Han and Leia, or what happened after
action figures.
Exactly. we would make our stories about that. Not everything was in clad iron set out.
Absolutely. Totally.
And also, could we say that like I have never had such a blast with this series, seeing them ride the bikes. When they had that ET Stranger Things moment of saying, "Come on, let's go, we gotta turn." Like I was just like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "This is awesome," and it felt like,
it was such a great moment.
Yeah, I'm like, you can give me
that's a good shot
if you put that on the ride.
Great shot.
When you think about it, there was kind of a dark moment because Wendell's he stole the kid's bike.
I know. GTA'd him.
That kid was a bully. I don't care.
That kid was a bully. He deserved it. But come on, those great moments for Wendell. Wendell, right? Yeah.
Wendell.
I'm so bad at the parents' names.
Me too. I'm so bad at names in general.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
Also, can I say that Jude Law's performance, like, I dug in how, like, I didn't forgive him for what he did, but at points I pitied for the stuff he went through. Like when he was talking about that, yes, a Jedi did found him, and how he said like there's very, very small
glimmers of hope.
Yeah.
Like light or something. He said.
But then he's like, I buy that this dude would go this. This very gray, dirty view on the galaxy, and even seeing Wim call out to Jod, because I think he's still heartbroken that this guy he looked up to liked him, but was like trying to tell him like, "Come on, man, come help us." He's like, "No, they're in different paths." I love that about Jude Law's performance.
It's like you can see the pain in his character because you can tell he wants so badly to do the right thing, but like his history doesn't let him do it. It pains him to like just betray everybody, and I really want to know that Jedi that found him. And
I know.
See, again, that was the thing. They could have sat there and gave us a lengthy cameo, a story arc, or a mention about someone specific. There really were no cameos, and I think the show worked best without cameos. We had enough nostalgia with a lightsaber. We had enough nostalgia with some X-wings, and oh my god, the B-wings.
The B-wings, man. I had never so happy since Rebels to see B-wings. Oh.
So we had enough influence of all that stuff without them having to force feed us additional things, Yeah, I mean,
The best
maybe one day they'll tell us.
I don't know who they were, Anchorman. Do you guys know who the X-Wing pilots were?
They just look like random generic.
Just random.
That's okay.
Random guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, it's good. Not everything has to be a cameo or like a cameo or like a connected. Like I like how this is part of Manoverse, but like it's not at the same time. It's its own standalone thing.
Yeah.
Like how all that stuff is all connected. Like this is like it's part of it, but it's very like in its own corner.
No Ewoks. No Ewoks on the show.
Like Star Wars often falls into the trap of making the whole galaxy seem so small because everything is always so connected. So they did a decent job by still connecting it to the overall era that the story belongs in, but also maintaining its like individuality as a story.
Yeah. And that's why I was so curious why this story took place, why this era. And I'm like, you know what? In hindsight, I don't need to see all these people we were familiar with in Mando and Ahsoka. But you know what? Yeah. I feel like you could sense the repercussion of this planet being discovered and this amount of currency being discovered in this era.
Oh yeah, well that there's that adds a lot of questions for me in the future. Where does it go? No, the new Republic
they're gonna have
got
to.
there. They got there quickly. They got there quickly.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
the emphasis of crime syndicates and bounty hunters during this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, if there's people out there who believe the First Order might have had something. I don't think the First Order really even truly had formed at this point. So I think we're way too early for that. But the elements of the Empire would definitely be a threat to this currency in trying to...
Remnants,
Remnants, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just a quick note here. Yeah, the alien X-Wing pilot seemed like it was the one in The Force Awakens, or one of the same race. Yes, absolutely. That's the cool thing as well. They started opening the doors to England and saying, we need a couple of your puppet pieces, send them over. And they're doing vice versa because it was very polarized between what was shot in England and what's being shot in the US as to the amount of what we see. And it's cool that they are now doing this back and forth because it's worth it. You want to have some of those aliens existing on other stuff too. So I think that was kind of a nice.
Yeah, so I like when aliens we've already seen in other projects are reused. Because again, Star Wars often falls into the trap of creating and spending time on designing these cool new species and then never revisiting them ever again.
No.
Yeah. I mean, we got so many. I mean, again, the old school ones. We got the Hammerhead race. What are they called? The Thorians. Yeah, the Thorians.
There we go.
Thorians, and then we had lots of other we've had lots of other races in this one show. And again, going to Andor, my biggest disappointment was the lack of aliens, especially familiar ones. Which
but there in Andor, I kind of understand it because half of its focus is in the Empire, and they don't have to in the Empire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I understood it too, but it's still, Anyway, that's going to be for another time.
When did season 2 come out of Andor?
April.
96 days, 97 days from now. We're in the days. We're counting the days.
Literally the Sunday of celebration.
Those roundtables are going to go insane because there's never.
Oh yeah.
Touching back on the. On the money, though, I kind of feel like the New Republic is just gonna use it. Like it's better than the Pirates for sure, but they really they're still gonna end up getting back to work, and they're probably just gonna be a mint now for the New Republic because we've seen how they operate. I feel like that's kind of their style. They're gonna take what they can use from this.
And in the comics, half the time they're like, "We have no money. We need money," and so I have how did you get all those new X-wings? It has to be. It has to be how they do it.
Right?
Well, I mean, the other thing that I thought was interesting too, the fact that they would kind of show off the banking clan were kind of they're around. They're still the the leaders of the banks of the galaxy. Technically, they didn't just solely work for the Empire, but before them, the Separatists.
Separatists.
Yeah, and so the reality is, it's like, yeah, that money probably will end up by being funneled in the right directions under the Republic, I'm guessing, to the right people, and help people who are dislodged from the Empire. But that's still a lot of credits. The other thing is, like, it's an old credit system. Will it flood the market and just become regular currency or something else? I don't know. Again, those are the technical issues that we're not necessarily need to necessarily worry about, but always answers in the back of my head. It's like
the inflation of the Star Wars universe.
That's it.
Know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. What other cool stuff was going on?
Was it just me? There's so many little things that I found funny in the episode 8, like especially when Wim and Gwendolyn were at the table and then they're going back and forth, and the bot is just like looking at them, like how when you watch two people.
The microwave dinner. The thought of the fact that Wim's father puts on what would be literally the Star Wars version of the microwave dinner was a funny little moment. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and in the bot just looking back and forth, like just listening to them bicker back and forth. I thought that was super funny.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was funny. But yeah,
what did you guys think of the reveal of the supervisor?
Hal from
2001? Yes, Hal 2000. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely feel like that was definitely like I had to be at least a little like call reference or something. It had to be.
Yeah.
Especially like with the eye and everything.
Yeah, I think by episode 6, definitely on episode 7, I was like, okay, the supervisor is an automated system. It made sense that was where it was going, where they were taking it. And, it's an automated system. I like the little drop that it was also the control ship for the droids, that we get this kind of another callback to the prequels, for the army, the Separatist army with all the droids.
They got the control center,
yeah, and I kind of, again, they did a great job at little nods that felt natural and weren't forcing it, going haha, look in your face kind of thing. But it was just some cool stuff like that too. What other stuff, guys? What other cool things were going on?
Wim holding the lightsaber, man. He got his moment. I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was so proud of him.
Yeah, I liked how he checked it before he lit it.
Yeah, yeah.
Holding upside down again.
Absolutely, yes.
I love that. I was so proud of him.
The little things. I liked that. That was funny.
Yeah.
And them fighting to hold it back.
Yeah. I literally thought they were going to turn the lightsaber on in that moment and actually ignite it as he was pulling.
Yeah, that made me nervous.
That would have that would have killed Jod. And I was like, no, Jod deserves to live. He needs a future in Star Wars.
Kind of liked how like this entire episode, like how like it kind of the culmination of everything, like how we had episodes that were like focused like on one character, like growing them. But then this episode, like we kind of see like what each character has done with that growth. Like we all split up with them. Kind of saw all the different things. Like he's no longer scared. He just ran straight to the turret and he was blasting at the ship.
Yeah,
that was so cool. I mean, again, they forecast it, in episode 4, wasn't it? And and we all knew it. We all knew there was going to be the big gun that Neil was going to save the day kind of thing. And he had his moment. He didn't save the day, but he had his moment.
I got you covered.
Well, he did a lot of help. They would not have gotten far if he didn't.
Bravery. I'm good. Go. Yeah.
And my biggest one, I still love the character of KB. She was willing to sacrifice herself. That's how close it got. I mean, when the ship went down, all I could remember was that the actress who played her was asked a question about episodes 7 and 8, and she said just one word: death. And part of me was like, okay, fine, Jod killed Brutus and sliced up SM-33, but then it took a new meaning, and I was actually genuinely afraid they were going to kill her in the crash, because the reality was her response was like, it sat on me, and I was like, I am so glad they didn't kill the character, but I would have been devastated if they did, because I love that development of that character, the idea of self-sacrifice, that she would actually, I mean, they all had self-sacrifice by that point,
right?
But she alone was like, yeah, I'm the only one who can do this, and this is probably one of the most dangerous. I got to get past this blockade of pirates, get up there, and pull a signal out,
And
Yeah,
Josh
and I
sold it.
knew.
Jude Law was like worried, and then the look of him.
Yeah, you see,
Yes,
he was like, I didn't
yeah,
want this to happen.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like
No.
in episode 8, he still had like, he wasn't
Yeah.
as evil as I thought he would be. Like,
Yeah,
he was murdering
Right.
those pirates, the people.
Sure,
But you know, he has a soft spot for those kids.
yeah,
Because he was
Yeah,
like, I
and
didn't
I
want it
knew-
to be like this.
yeah.
I knew deep down that they weren't going to kill off any of the kids. Like I knew that.
I know
Yeah.
too. I know too. But
The
I
music,
had.
the framing,
Yeah.
the character reactions. I was
Okay.
like, oh, like whoa.
Let's talk about Mick Giacchino's music. He actually was on another group I'm friends with and have followed.
HoloNet.
HoloNet
Yeah,
Marauders.
yeah.
They had Nick Giacchino on last night. Was it last night? Yeah, Thursday night. And Wednesday night. Sorry. And yeah, they had a great interview with him talking about the music and the score. It was really great. If you get the chance, check them out. But he did mention that the soundtrack drops tonight, or
Oh no way!
three and a half hours of music is going to be dropping
really?
tonight.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get that like as soon as I wake up in the morning. It's
That
like,
pirate theme, man.
oh my god,
That's
all of it!
fantastic.
It was so good. The score was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be available on iTunes and wherever and everywhere else, Amazon, I'm guessing, and all those places that drop
Spotify.
music. Spotify, yeah. So I'm looking forward to just listening to the score because he's a young kid. He's probably only in his 30s, but he's obviously the son of Michael Giacchino, yeah, and very talented. And I even got to I left a message of a question and they answered it. It was basically, he said there's like a score of about 15 people he had scoring at the orchestra at any one time. So there was obviously a lot of synthesizer and stuff like that as well. But it sounded so good.
Oh yeah,
it
between
works so
this
well.
and the Penguin, back-to-back project for him. Like,
Yes,
damn.
yeah. He's up and coming. He's. I can't wait to see.
Making a great name for
more
his
stuff.
himself right now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The MGs are
completely.
killing it in the music
And if
world.
I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
this is another generation of musicians that are working on Star Wars, right? It's the Kiners, it's Kevin Kiner and his kids,
Kevin
Even
Kline's
Ludwig is
kids,
young.
yeah, yep.
and then Michael did Rogue One, and now
Rogue One,
Mick
yeah.
did Delta
Yep.
Code. I'm like, I
Yep.
love that. I'm like,
Yeah.
keep
They're all young.
the kids around.
Yeah.
I want to
Really, yeah.
Yeah, especially
Generation,
for the
man.
music that they have been giving us for these shows and the movies
Yeah.
and stuff. That's been so good. And nobody's ever going to top John Williams. There's a sound that John Williams has
Yeah.
and a theme and a beat that nobody else can really nail it. But I have to say that Skeleton Crew, the actual score, sounded the closest of giving us something original that we have not heard before since the Kiners.
And since Ludwig for me, Ludwig with Mando, like,
Ludwig did a few beautiful, nice pieces of music and themes, but this
has a more
was
modern
like
take in his
this
music.
constantly was surprising me throughout this show too. It's because he passed it on to his predecessor as well. A lot of his major work, but yeah, sorry.
I mean, I do. My favorite, even more than the Mandalorian theme, is the Book of Boba Fett theme. That one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah, that was Ludwig as well. But
each episode, how it grew too, was also cool.
Yeah. But either way, the music was fantastic in this one, which was also great.
It was literally like fantastic. Like it just felt so ET. It felt so whimsical. It was just felt spacey, 80s spacey, campy kind of vibes. And
Absolutely.
I loved it.
and I agree with KG as well. Nick with Andor did well too, in my opinion. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally. Let me think. What else is going on? Let's talk about the pirates for a little bit. That ship is cool.
That shit was cool. It's a big ass joystick.
Yeah.
It looks like a face hugger
Huh?
without the legs. I said it kind of looked like a face hugger without the legs.
Oh yeah, it does too.
No, it does.
Just some of the beauty shots that they did for this. I'm trying to still figure out whether this was a model going through a smoke filled area, or whether I don't know if they built a model of this or whether it was CG, but I felt like it was a model that was passing through a smoke layer of mist. which is an old school technique.
That would be metal. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was metal.
Practical features.
I would think it would be a model.
It was very like intimidating.
Yeah.
Anchor. He said disco shit when the lights turned on.
Yeah. But it was still. Yeah.
All the shots of like it coming down and like the lights turning
so
on.
Alien.
Yeah.
It was so.
I like
it's very good. Like intimidating.
Yeah.
It's taking a bubble bath. The first thing he does when he gets home.
The second time he gets caught off guard in the bubble bath. Like.
Oh yes, it is true. Yeah. Oh yes. I honestly didn't expect them to start firing. I thought that was overkill. Yeah. Like here's the beauty of it. At the end of the day, Jod was there because he wanted to really truly like get his hands on that money and have a better life for himself. But at the end of the day, the pirates were still the pirates. They still wanted to create havoc. They still wanted to shoot things up. They still wanted to create chaos. Because that's what they do. That's where they have fun. And so that's what separates a character like Jod being a pirate of that nature. And I think that was kind of a cool thing to explore too.
At one point Jod mentions he's like, hey, like
keep them
take
alive.
It easy. Like I don't want you to injure them too much. And he says it's because he wants them to be able to work at the mint. But I think it's true that he doesn't want to just see
randomly kill people. Sure. Yeah.
So he has his like reasons that he's giving his crew, but I think deep down he's not he's not a monster.
I mean, my thought process there of the flip side there was that he still needs people to run this planet anyway to keep money. So don't kill the important ones who actually might be the ones who are printing the money, kind of thing. But you know, there are several layers behind that answer as well. But completely agree. Yeah, what else, guys? What else was going on here? See, I pulled a whole pile of images there. Just again, it goes back to really cool self-sacrifice. The kids really did some great moments of. That was a great moment. Too.
Oh, SM.
I'm
glad. Better landings I've done.
Yes. Yeah.
And those aerial shots of the fights with the X-wings and the B-wings.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Like somebody went back and saw the visuals from Return of the Jedi. Like, I'm
yeah.
The cinematography of this episode was great in general. Those shots of Jod standing and looking out the window.
Just the way the light passed past. The light moved past.
The barrier comes down.
What's that Claudia Gray book that people love? That's like Ray Romeo and Juliet. That has like
the Lost Star.
Yeah, that cover. It felt like that. The ship going down. It felt like that cover of Lost Stars.
That was a cool thing seeing the B-wings in action, by the way, because we haven't seen that since Star Wars Rebels, which is when the Blade Wing, watching it use its full thing. And this is the first time we've seen it in live action. I think I even called that out in my reaction. It was like, first time we've seen this in live action. How cool is that?
Yeah, that thing melted that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was great. HoloNet Marauders. They posted a clip of from that episode, the Rebels, of the Mon Cal like swirling around. I'm like, I know that reference. I know what you're talking about.
Send Jod down to the mines.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. Yeah.
No, this episode was good. Chat's active today. I liked it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. We've got to talk about Nick Frost voicing SM-33. I mean, I think such a great character choice, voice choice. And it's also cool because if you guys ever saw one of the first things that Nick Frost and
Simon
Pegg did, which was like R2-D2 and C-3PO comedy piece that they did years and years ago. It's worth checking out, but they both were Star Wars nerds. And it's cool that they're both now ended up in a Star Wars show.
He gives such a great performance. I think Close Enough is like one of my top 3 lines in the show from episode 7.
What's he that was such
imagine he didn't have the helmet on, it was a wrap.
Snowball.
Just like how he used the very like stereotypical like pirate, like how we would think a pirate would act, like the arg matey.
Yeah. See, I want to know his manufacturing story. I need to know what the adventures of SM-33 and Tac Renard were. It's like there's obviously a story there too. Again, it could go back hundreds of years. We don't know. It's
probably a novel down on the road right now.
Oh, I'm sure there's
plenty of Old Republic novel. That would be fun.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. They can definitely do that. We haven't actually talked about them shutting down the barrier at the end too.
That scene was beautiful.
It was gorgeous, and they spent time showing these moments of just everything coming down around the planet.
Seeing the stars bright, and it's like you could see that for that culture, that people, it was the first time seeing
them. They're like, the gasp and stuff.
Neo's awe, yeah.
No, it's it was just overall, it was just so beautifully wound up. It was so good.
Yeah, it's such an awesome moment. Like they're sacrificing some of their safety. This is all they've ever known. They're away from the war here, but they're opening themselves up to. I think that's like the stars that represents. They're opening themselves up to like whole new possibilities. Like,
yeah.
They mentioned Wim, like he might not have to take the assessment anymore. Like he can go anywhere he wants to. He kind of looks back at the ship when that happens. Like maybe he doesn't even stay on planet. So I think it's really symbolic and cool of how
you're right.
growing older and opening up your horizons and expanding your world.
Sky's the limit. That's
literally. I feel like that's the thing. The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
It was just so cool. Them all seeing the stars for the first time.
Yeah. Again, that's just the use of them spending that probably, I want to say 15 seconds in film time is a lot of time, and they spent 15 seconds taking everything down. And
it's funny, it's because
so
I feel like that's how like people are now, if you think about it, because the light pollution in real life, a lot of people haven't even seen the stars. You have to go to like the desert or
out of LA.
Out of LA
in order to see the stars.
It's quite a spiritual experience. We grew up by the stars in Australia, so it was like there was nothing around you.
And with spiders the size of babies?
Yeah, well, that too.
But yeah, I feel like that's for sure reminiscent, because I know when I first seen stars, I was just like, yo, I felt like the people on the Atten. It's man, it's a nice experience.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is just that final shot of Wim, looking up and seeing the blockade runner and
Brent.
All the
I freaked out when I saw that ship. I was like, wait a minute, is that?
Leia?
Is that what's that ship called? Oh my god,
the Tantive.
Yeah.
Tantive 4, I think.
I don't know.
Think so. It's a different.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I mean, it was painted.
And as far as like the red.
Yeah. I mean, it originally was blue in the prequels, but because that was the same ship specifically. But who knows? I mean, again, it didn't have to be anybody up there.
Exactly.
Anyone important. It just was just like, this is cool. We've got that. We know they're out there. We're gonna see them in The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Stuff like that, like that ship. It's cool for like us fans to like get to see, and like because we know what that entails, we know what that means. But also, there's no like homework for people that like want to watch the show. Like they don't have to like watch a different show to watch. Like I feel like people talk about that with the MCU nowadays. Like they feel like they have to watch 5 different movies and a show just to be current. Whereas like I like how this show is self-contained and that anyone can just jump in. So
absolutely. I mean, the inner child of me loves the continuing arc on stuff, but this was a perfect and that was the thing. It was like I was concerned. It was like, are they going to leave this show hanging open a little bit? Is there going to be some major things
off? Because we never we never figured out what happened to John. John could have weaseled his way out of there. You never know.
But here's the thing. I mean, Jod was also obviously Long John Silver in the Treasure Island, story arc. And I'll be honest, I've never read the book, and I've seen the movies years ago. I just don't remember what happened to Long John Silver. He did live, didn't he? I'm pretty sure. He didn't die, as far as I'm aware, looking for his treasure. He lost the treasure. He never got his hands on the treasure. And that was part of the... I think that was part of the...
his arc.
His arc was that he was so close to it, but never quite got his hands on it, and so it's just I need to kind of follow up on that story because they were so close to doing the Treasure Island story arc and all of it throughout the whole thing that it was just, it's an important story
it feels like the perfect balance to me. Like they left it to where if this is all we get, that's perfect. Like it ended well, but there's also enough threads to have some of these characters continue and keep going. Like Manuel said with Jod, like we could see Jod again, but if we don't see Jod again, he got his little arc, and like that is what it is. It was a nice arc.
Oh yeah,
but like it left enough open that we can. So
the only ships on the planet crashed.
That's true, KG.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. The pirate frigate.
I feel like he's very resourceful though.
Oh, I think so too. Well, I mean,
that'll be fun to see what happens after.
And now that the barrier's down, he can contact someone easily.
That's true.
Oh, he could sneak onto any Republic ship or anything like that. I mean, the one thing also, I pulled this image. Oh, sorry, wrong image. This image here, like one of the last ones, he's stopped and he stops and he kind of looks and he has several expressions on his face of change of about 3 or 4 different expressions of like, oh, I lost. Oh, wait a minute. The kids didn't die. Oh, wait a minute. I'm stuck here. And then, I think I can get out of this. And there was these moments and beats of, I want to see an interview with George Law to kind of get exactly in his head what his thoughts were in those beats. But you saw the facial expressions within about a 4 or 5 second period of just looking at his face, of him doing several different expressions. Again, to his performance alone, it was fantastic.
KG brought up a good point. She said he almost looks proud. And then I'm like, he does low-key. Because remember, he was trying to...
That was
telling the kids in the beginning, like, you guys have no idea what the world, what the galaxy will do to you. And he ends up losing to these kids. That, so he does low-key look a little proud.
I felt like Last Crusade opening when the guy that gives Indy the hat. Damn, and he looks at the kid, he's like, not that kid. Like, you got the heart in you, just like I did when I was your age. And I love those symbolic moments. Then Jude Law, man, like that's a good take of like you have a stellar performer, and you don't tee up a season 2, but you leave it open in case you want to revisit this world and you have a good idea.
Well, this character,
the character is rich enough to follow through, and also someone that we didn't bring up, Kim. My favorite space owl.
Oh yeah, where's
I love seeing her return.
Yeah, I did. Here we go, Kim. Yeah, I was always hoping they would bring it back, and I do like the fact that they kind of sent her in there, kind of thing.
She got them quick, huh?
She got them quick.
No questions asked. She was like, "All right, you need it."
Oh yeah, yeah.
She got them on speed dial, space speed dial.
Oh, I'm sure she does. I mean, there's a lot more to Kim. Like Kim is almost the Maz Kanata kind of character of this part of the galaxy at this time period, at least. So I think that was kind of cool, and she had that real gum too. Let's do it. Yeah. I'll be there in 2 flaps. Gum too. Let's do it. I was like, this is kind of cool. I like the character. I thought she was great.
It'd be cool to see that. It'd be cool, Anchorman, to see the kids interact with Grogu. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to be kids anymore. Probably be a little older.
Yeah, I mean,
the kids in real life grew up. They grew a lot, huh?
Yeah, they grew within 2 years. Apparently, they had to go back and do some pickup shots on stuff, and they actually had to de-age their voices because their voices were everything had dropped. So basically, their voices were a little deeper, and so they literally had to algorithm their voices in a couple. I don't know which scenes specifically, but I had heard that they have to kind of do that, and that's the hard thing shooting with kids, especially since they shot this during the time they were shooting Ahsoka 2 years ago. So they were shooting side by side of each other. Ahsoka had priority on the volume, and this was shooting mostly in sound stages for the most part, with pickup stuff in the volume. So again, that's why we saw so little volume work. But what they did use was great.
Yeah, I mean, the kids definitely are getting older. I think that's why if we have a season 2, like it's definitely got to be a time jump.
Sure.
It's the
We'll see me with the tusk.
Stranger Things problem, like where they're trying to make a season of middle schoolers, and now all the Stranger Things kids look like they could have kids.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Yeah, I think they waited too long on that on Stranger Things, but these kids, pick up, a few years later, wait for a few more years, they'll be teenagers. They pop in and they appear and cross paths with other characters, and beyond the Mando universe, who knows? Let's think.
But one thing I guess I
Yeah.
would want to
Oh
bring
yeah.
up is like the
Oh yeah.
end credits were also really like nice too.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah,
it wasn't
cool.
like the
I
standard
was
one that they're
leaving
doing.
that to the end, but you've got these little moments of Wynn's Jedi
storybook thing, yeah.
Jedi storybook, which is really cool.
They're
But
so beautiful.
Yeah.
but if you guys did actually notice, the last image was this, and it's the kids on the ship.
Oh yeah, understood.
And so basically, I get teary eyed. It's just like they became part of the story, and I think it's such a beautiful image. It's such a great little piece. Just the fact they did that. Yeah, I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but it was like, oh man, yeah, it gets you pretty emotional. The storybook ending,
Storybook ending, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when like the Whim's whole thing is like, I want to be a part of an adventure.
Yeah.
And like the way that they end the credits, because like they even just close it with the little data pad and it's saying Skeleton Crew on it. Like he did it. Like he made it.
He has his own story. Yeah, he went on his grand adventure.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, I really like this show. It's a really great show.
It stuck the landing.
Stuck the landing. I don't think there was. I think episode 4 for me was possibly, I would say, the slightly weaker part of the story, but because it felt too rushed, and I get how they had to move things along, but it delivered everything it needed to deliver for characters to be in a place, especially Neil, because
getting all the females
for later on.
Play it.
That's it. Oh yeah, he's definitely going, like the next day at school. He's going up to that little alien girl, and he's gonna. He's gonna ask her out. Absolutely. That's. Yes. Yeah. Doing the Spider-Man thing. Hey. Yeah, I mean, what can I say, guys? This has been fun. It's been a fun series. It's been fun kind of communing with you guys, over the episodes. And yeah, I mean, Star Wars just keeps on coming. We are going to be getting Andor in less than 100 days, season 2. Hopefully we get the chance to get to the premiere, not premiere, but one of the screenings.
The screenings, I'm gonna look early. I have to.
Look
early.
Yeah, we really have to keep an eye out, because it seemed like they were letting obviously more people, hook. You could actually do more invites on this one, but I think with Andor they're going to limit the amount of invites again. So if we do get the chance, let's go to see Andor on the big screen, because to anybody out there who's watching or watching in the future and this stuff, to watch any of Star Wars TV shows on the big screen, if you get the chance to ever go to the theaters to see any of these episodes, it's phenomenal. It's
a great experience.
It is the same experience as seeing a Star Wars movie on the big screen. You've got a crowd, they're all excited, they're all hyped. I've only had the chance to see 2 of them so far, which was Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, the first 2 episodes of each, but
and Mando,
it's so much fun.
Weren't you there with me, Brett, when they showed Mando the pirate episode?
The pirate episode?
During the Pally.
Oh yes, we went to that's it. They showed one episode of Mandalorian with.
I remember that.
That's it. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That was over in the Dolby Theater across the road.
Dolby Theater.
Yeah. That's it. We saw that too. That was cool. Although we were way back. That was. But in general, though, it is really, really cool to experience that. So if you ever get the chance, they do screenings across the place. It's worth it for sure for the TV episodes. So we're all definitely going to hopefully try to get our hands on an Andor ticket or 2 and go check it out. I'm hoping, because hope we'll get in there because it'll be fun. That will be a hard one to get into though. That's gonna
I know.
Definitely. Just
people will jump.
Andor season 2 will
people
will
jump on those tickets.
Start looking
the same thing. I remember for the Ahsoka Clone Wars episodes, those ones went out instantly.
Yes, that was just by pure luck. But I missed that. Yeah.
We at least have a bigger, at least in our, if we do keep on doing El Cap, only because it is just a really big theater, so there's just more availability. But also it's Hollywood, so there's that many more people we have to fight against. So.
Yeah, but it's also a really fun crowd. I mean, that's the cool thing.
Yeah,
and the free posters are really cool too.
And popcorn,
little merch.
The merch.
Waiting in line, that's literally how.
That's how we all met. Yeah, if anybody who doesn't know out there, that's how most of us met. We were just in line and we didn't really truly know each other. And it was just like, okay. We became conversation. It was like, this is a cool group, which is really funny because in the line for Skeleton Crew, there was a few people in front of me before Daniel turned up there, and these people were kind of bitching on the prequels and this and that, and I was just like, wow, I don't want to get to know you people. This is like, you sound like you're completely negative to Star Wars. So if you're so negative, like one of them was said, this is the first time I've seen a Star Wars show in, episode in three since the first season of Mandalorian. I'm like, why are you here if you're going to be here to complain about Star Wars?
Get our tickets to somebody that actually wants to see.
And you're going into one that is going to be all about kids that may or may not go your direction. It's like
if you can't talk about Star Wars for 10 minutes without saying you hate Disney Star Wars or hate the prequels, I don't want to talk to you about Star Wars.
That's it. And for me, that was an immediate, I'm not even going to go to, it was so different with you guys because I was like, okay, you guys kind of know what you're talking about. I can hear, hear that you're genuinely interested. It's and it was fun just starting a conversation, but it's fun. So, but either way, guys, we'll probably end it up here, but we will end up by checking out Andor and probably roundtabling for Andor. I'm sure if you guys are interested, because that could be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's it. I agree there, Kay, for sure, for real. No one needs that negativity in their life. Absolutely. Star Wars is meant for kids or the child at heart, and if you cannot be a child at heart and be an adult about it, then what's the point? Don't see it, don't complain about it. Just be move on and go to something you enjoy and do something you enjoy. But we're having fun.
It's about fun.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then Ronan, where can we find you as well?
Thank you for having me. This has been besides watching the show, it's been a blast talking to people about it. This is as close as it gets to having a Star Wars club in high school or in college, if you will. You can find me at Ronan Unchained on YouTube, all the socials. If TikTok gets shut down or not, I'm on Blue Sky, Threads, and right now I'm just gonna be covering Sakamoto Days, Invincible, Daredevil, and then
when's Invincible come out?
February.
I think March. February. Oh, I thought it was March. Oh, dang.
Yeah, February.
And
then on April, you best believe I'm going to be covering a lot of Star Wars stuff, either here or internationally.
You're going to Celebration, yeah? I know. That's great though. I can't wait to see what you get there. Guys, anybody else want to plug anything? Any other channels you guys are doing?
I'm gonna start making my YouTube channel as well.
Nice. Cool.
There it is.
So that's gonna be something. But you can follow me on Instagram at silence_draws. I'm gonna start. You guys motivated me for sure to start this YouTube stuff. So I'm gonna start bringing out some art, anime, manga stuff coming up. So it's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming up for sure.
Cool. Anybody else, guys?
Awesome. That's it.
No.
Thank you. It was great as always.
That was fun, guys. I'm not going to Japan. No, I'm being very careful with my money right now, so I've got to be careful.
But I am going to get him on a live stream while I'm in Japan. So I don't know how we're going to do it, but I'm going to make it work where he can be part of the every night talking about Star Wars, if we can make it work.
That'd be great. Absolutely.
Yeah. And y'all as well.
Yeah. All right, guys. Anyway, thanks, chat, by the way. Also, big thanks to you. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for being part of the conversation. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we all did. And, we'll see you next time. So we'll catch you all later.
Thank you, guys. You guys are